The crisis of manhood in today's society. Causes and consequences. The vanishing of the man. A century ago, a boy's journey into manhood was marked by trials, physical challenges, rites of passage, responsibilities handed down from father to son. Today, many boys enter adulthood not through struggle but through scrolling on a screen. The change is subtle but devastating. A gradual erasure of the masculine role, a quiet collapse of the structures that once shaped strong men. Masculinity has always been a balancing force in civilization. It is the energy of strength, responsibility, and courage. Yet in today's world, this balance has been disrupted. This is not merely nostalgia or a longing for the past. What we are witnessing is a crisis of manhood, a decline that stretches across culture, biology, economy, and spirit. To understand it, we must look deeply into its causes, trace the consequences unfolding before our eyes, and search for the path forward. Causes of the masculinity crisis. Cultural shifts and ideological upheaval. Shifting cultural narratives. Attack on traditional roles. Feminization of society and the loss of balance. Social breakdowns and the disintegration of bonds. Collapse of initiation. Lack of role models and mentorship. Fatherlessness and family breakdown. Loss of brotherhood. Societal changes and disconnection from tradition. Biological and psychological decline. Declining testosterone levels. Consumerism and the comfort trap. The rise of instant gratification. Economic and material pressures. 1. Cultural shifts and ideological upheaval. The first fracture lies in culture. Shifting cultural narratives. In many modern conversations, masculinity is reframed as toxic, dangerous, or oppressive. Strength, assertiveness, and leadership, once celebrated as virtues, are now often criticized as threats. This cultural shift has created confusion, forcing men to question whether their natural instincts are inherently wrong. Attack on traditional roles. Historically, men were seen as protectors, providers, and leaders. Today, these roles are often dismissed as outdated relics of the past. With no clear framework to replace them, many men drift in uncertainty, unsure of what society expects of them. Feminization of society and the loss of balance. The modern world frequently elevates feminine qualities such as sensitivity and emotional openness while downplaying masculine qualities like resilience and responsibility. While both are essential, the rejection of masculine energy creates imbalance. A society that suppresses half of its natural polarity cannot remain stable. The result is not balance but paralysis. Men are unsure of their role, caught between accusation and expectation. Without clear guidance, masculinity becomes fragmented. Social breakdowns and the disintegration of bonds. Beyond ideology, the social fabric that once shaped men has weakened. Collapse of initiation. In the past, boys were guided into manhood through rituals, mentorship, and trials. Today, these initiation processes have largely disappeared. Without them, many young men grow older without truly maturing, remaining boys in grown bodies. Lack of role models and mentorship. Mentorship has collapsed as well. Modern society elevates celebrities and influencers, not fathers, coaches, or leaders of integrity. These new icons rarely embody sacrifice or discipline. Young men emulate visibility, not virtue, seeking validation from screens instead of meaningful achievement. Fatherlessness and family breakdown. A missing father is more than an absent parent. It is the absence of a guide. The breakdown of families has left countless men without role models, forcing them to piece together their understanding of masculinity on their own, often through distorted influences. Loss of brotherhood. Men once formed strong bonds through shared labor, struggles, and community. Now, with digital distractions and atomized societies, genuine male companionship has eroded. Men are left to navigate challenges in isolation, cut off from the strength of brotherhood. societal changes and disconnection from tradition. The industrial and digital revolutions have transformed daily life, but also stripped men of grounding traditions and tangible roles. In a fast-changing world, many feel disconnected from their cultural roots and from the timeless path of manhood. 3. Biological and psychological decline. On a biological level, the crisis is measurable. Declining testosterone levels. Across the globe, men face a biological decline. Testosterone levels, a foundation of male vitality, energy, and drive, are dropping at alarming rates. This biological shift weakens both body and spirit, leaving men less capable of embodying the strength once natural to them. Fertility rates, physical strength, and mental resilience follow the same downward trend. Sedentary lifestyles, poor diets, and the absence of real physical challenges accelerate this decline. Consumerism and the comfort trap. Modern consumer society encourages indulgence rather than discipline. Comfort, convenience, and endless entertainment have replaced struggle, self-mastery, and resilience. Men are trained to seek pleasure, not growth. The rise of instant gratification. Technology has amplified the temptation of shortcuts. Instead of working through real challenges, many men turn to virtual escapes, games, pornography, and digital distractions. These may provide temporary relief, but they erode the ability to endure, to strive, and to conquer real-world challenges. The body mirrors the soul. When men no longer build, fight, or endure, their physiology adapts to weakness. Biology and culture together create a man less prepared for responsibility, less ready to lead. 4. Economic and material pressures. Finally, economics plays its part. Job insecurity, financial instability, and diminishing opportunities create a climate of frustration. In earlier times, hard work and persistence could secure stability and respect. Today, even the most determined men often find themselves blocked by forces outside their control. This erodes confidence and dignity. The result is not only financial strain but existential confusion. If a man cannot provide, cannot protect, cannot lead his family with stability, what is his role? This economic struggle and uncertainty feeds into the broader crisis, eroding confidence and identity. Consequences of the masculinity crisis. Identity and inner life. Confused identities. Psychological and emotional fragmentation. Mental health and isolation. Depression and loneliness. Escapism and addiction. Decline of family and social stability. Extremes of masculinity. The causes are not abstract. Each one produces visible consequences in the lives of men today. 1. Identity and inner life. Cultural suspicion of masculinity, combined with family breakdown, breeds alienation. Men feel increasingly unnecessary, both to society and to women. Friendships among men are thinner, family bonds are weaker, and marriages decline. Loneliness becomes the silent epidemic of modern manhood. The bridge is clear. A culture that denies the masculine role produces men unsure of their worth. Confused identities. Modern men are caught between contradictory messages. Be strong but not too strong, be sensitive but not weak, be successful but not domineering. This tug-of-war leaves many unsure of who they are or what role they should play. Confused by mixed messages, men oscillate between extremes. Some collapse into passivity, avoiding responsibility altogether. Others lunge toward hypermasculinity, mistaking aggression for strength, domination for leadership. Both are distortions born from the same wound, the absence of a healthy masculine ideal. Psychological and emotional fragmentation. When identity is fractured, the inner world becomes unstable. Many men live with a hollow sense of self, unsure of their purpose. This inner void breeds insecurity, self-doubt, and emotional instability. 2. Mental health and isolation. From isolation comes escapism, depression, and loneliness. The decline of mentorship, brotherhood, and purpose has left men alone with their struggles. Depression and loneliness rise in silence, unspoken and untreated. Without guidance, many fall into despair. Escapism and addiction. Men retreat into pornography, video games, and virtual worlds, seeking simulated victories where real ones are denied. These digital substitutes provide dopamine but not fulfillment. These escapes numb the pain temporarily but deepen the emptiness. Addiction becomes a cycle that steals time, energy, and life itself. The link is undeniable. Where initiation and challenge are absent, men build imaginary kingdoms instead. 3. Decline of family and social stability. The erosion of masculinity undermines the foundation of society itself. Weak families, weak societies. A society cannot be stronger than the men who build and sustain it. Weaker men mean weaker families, fragile fatherhood, and less stability for children. The collapse of family leads to broader social disintegration, continuing the cycle for future generations. The crisis of manhood reverberates far beyond individuals. It shakes the foundations of civilization itself. The bridge is simple but devastating. A society that cannot produce strong men cannot endure. 4. Extremes of masculinity. Rise of extremes. Without balance, masculinity collapses into extremes. Some men retreat into passivity and weakness, rejecting responsibility. Others, disconnected from discipline and wisdom, turn toward aggression, destruction, and violence. Both extremes are symptoms of the same imbalance. The bridge is clear. When society erases the noble image of man, only caricatures remain. Echoes from history. This crisis is not new. Rome, in its final centuries, was marked by softness, loss of discipline, and the fading of masculine virtues. Many times humanity saw a generation of disoriented men, caught between humiliation and false promises of strength. In every era, when men collapse, civilizations follow. History warns us, when manhood weakens, society itself is at risk. The way forward, time to rise again. We live in a time when masculinity has been forgotten, distorted, and often vilified. But history teaches us that every collapse holds within it the seed of renewal. The crisis of manhood is not an end but a beginning, a challenge to rise, to rebuild, to reclaim balance. It is time for men to rise again. For when masculinity and femininity stand in harmony, society finds its strength, and the future becomes possible. Manhood has always been rooted in timeless virtues: courage, discipline, integrity, honor, justice, and wisdom. These are not outdated, they are eternal. The masculinity crisis will not be solved by politics or slogans. It must be rebuilt, man by man, through responsibility, self-mastery, and brotherhood. Men must reclaim strength, not for domination, but for service. Not for arrogance, but for responsibility. Not for destruction, but for leadership. The world does not need less masculinity. It needs better masculinity. The future depends on men who rise. Fathers, mentors, warriors of integrity. This is not nostalgia. This is necessity. This is the crisis of manhood. This is the call to rise. Become the man your family, and the world, truly needs.